What's up, everybody? It's KO Gaming, and today we're talking about one of the GOATs, man. An absolute slam dunk made by Obsidian, the one and only Fallout New Vegas. Arguably the greatest installment in the once storied franchise, Fallout 76. 2010 saw the release of Fallout New Vegas, and the Mojave has never been this batshit wild and full of clans to pick a side with. It's cool when you think of a post-apocalyptic world. You think there would be a lot of separation, which would lead to many different sides, cliques, clans, and groupings. Now, most Fallout games only have about 3 factions, but Fallout New Vegas will introduce you to the many groups of the post-apocalyptic Vegas. But before we get to the clan wars, we gotta talk about what the hell's going on. As many people know who played the game, you are a courier, a man who delivers messages or items long distances. And as soon as the game starts, you are a courier that happens to get capped in the forehead by a man in a pretty spiffy suit named Benny. This guy has a typical asshole New York accent, and he looks like he belongs in the Vegas casino, but we'll get to more on that later. The player will come to realize Benny has taken the desired transport good called the Platinum Chip. And this chip, you will come to realize, should have been guarded with an army. So the courier is saved by a robot, or Securitron, which is these adorable machines of death with funny faces. You get a cowboy one. This one has a cowboy face on it. You run into other ones, like the security ones, they have like these mean 1920s cop-looking faces. But anyway, this Securitron brings you to a place named Goodsprings. While in the small town, the player is nursed back to health, learns how to shoot some motherfucking guns, and becomes a real big dick swinging player in town. By the time you're ready to leave Goodsprings, it will bring on your first real choice in the game. A man is wanted by a group of powder gangers, or prison escapees, and is residing in Goodsprings. The powder gangers, they want this guy, and they want him bad, and they will raise the whole town to the ground, kill everyone to get to him. Now we get introduced to some of the factions and the awesome reputation system. You side with the powder gangers, you get some rep with them, and you can visit their surprisingly nice and well-protected prison. Fuck them over and stick with the refugee in Goodsprings, and you'll have great standing in Goodsprings. You'll get deals on goods, but you'll be on the powder gangers hit list, which will result in them attacking you on sight. On sight, son! Where you at, George? This formula will play a factor in many of the factions you meet along your search to hunt down Benny, the spiffy dresser who shot you. Along the way, you'll anger some factions and become boys for life with others. And this is where Fallout New Vegas shines, in my opinion, with the so many different ways you can play the faction game. The quests are going to be the same each playthrough, but different factions will give you different quest options and see things through a different perspective. Now, I'm going to name off the factions. You got Caesar's Legion. These Roman, Praetorian, Gladiator, Russell Crowe wannabe-like faction are definitely the most brutal. They crucify, they kill with hand-to-hand weapons, they burn people, they use attack dogs. And your introduction to them will be quite a memorable one. In a little town that I believe is called Nipton, you will see one crazed son of a bitch running around the town screaming how he won the lottery. You wonder what the lottery is. As you come to meet Caesar's Legion, you realize he won the lottery, and that means he was the only person that did not get burned and crucified in the town. Yeah, really friendly welcoming. And now you realize these guys are absolutely fucking serious, and they'll violate you in an instant. God forbid you make a Russell Crowe joke around them like I just did. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, we got the NCR, or New California Republic. These are more or less the good guys, or they appear to be, depending on which faction you ask. And they serve as like a government overbody, and most importantly, they control the Hoover Dam, which is a very big part of the story. The Hoover Dam is a decisive factor in who controls power in Vegas, especially with the electricity coming from there. Now, the NCR has always held the Hoover Dam, but it's not the first time there's been conflicts between them and Caesar's. Previously, the dam was attacked by Caesar's Legion, led by the Burned Man, who you will hear a lot about in the game but never meet until you play the DLC. Yet Kaisar's attack was fended off by the NCR, leading to the Burned Man getting his ass kicked, being burned alive and turning into, well, the Burned Man, and his ass kicked off of a cliff. I mean, that sounds like it should be the end of him, but surprisingly, it is not. He somehow manages to survive the Charlie Murphy front kick out of a window, but instead off of a cliff. And more on his story later. And when you compare the brutality of Kaisar to the NCR, like I said, the NCR will appear to be the good guys, but you gotta hear the other faction's side of the story. Next is Mr. House, who controls all the Securitrons on the New Vegas Strip. Now, it'll take a while to get here, and it will require access to get in, and unless you want to get vaporized by funny-faced robots, you better come with some identification. Mainly, this guy's kind of mysterious. All you know is he's kind of like the unknown face to the Las Vegas Strip. And then along the way, we meet some of the previously known factions. You got the Brotherhood of Steel scattered throughout the wasteland. These guys will offer you a couple quests, especially like the Stragglers out randomly scavenging. And then there's also the Enclave, which are pretty much just the dickhead Brotherhood of Steel guys. They have similar armor. You don't run into these guys too much, but they don't offer much in the way of quests. They're just kind of assholes out to kill you. And then we get to the more exclusive Fallout New Vegas teams. You got the Boomers. These guys are the most well-protected, heavily armed faction in Vegas. They have, I guess, cannons, mortars that surround their entire area, so getting to them is a quest in itself. They can also play a vital role in the eventual second fight for the Hoover Dam. Next, we got the Great Khans. These guys brew a shit ton of drugs and have some quite trippy main formulas. It's best to get in with these dudes if you like to fucking party. Next, we get to the Crimson Caravan. It sounds just like they would. A trading route supported by the NCR. These guys are just trying to make a buck out in the hot-ass desert. But these are some of the main factions, but there's even smaller factions after that. And these smaller factions are what make the game so awesome. You got the Kings, which are like an Elvis Presley-like gang that reside in the absolute hood of Vegas called Freeside. These guys are kind of for the people. They have a very cool leader, the king himself. He's got a cool robot dog, offers a quest. But working with these guys can end up working out for you, as they will have your back. You get into a fight and they're around, they'll start knifing whoever's attacking you. In addition to the king's presence in Freeside, you also have the Van Graffs, who is kind of like an asshole brother and sister, and their power weapon extraordinaire dealers. These guys offer some good quests. They offer some awesome armor and some very good gear. If you go in there and happen to kill everyone, you get to take their weapons as well, which are some exclusive, one-of-a-kind guns that you won't find anywhere else in Vegas. Then there's the Gun Runners. The name speaks for itself. Throw in the Powder Gangers, who we already mentioned, and then we'll throw in the many different Raider clans. The Vipers, Jackals, Scorpions, and Fiends. And you have some pretty crazy fucks out there trying to kill you, trying to help you, or they just happen to be around selling shit. And if you thought that was all, no, you're wrong. We're not done yet. You got the Followers of the Apocalypse, the Bright Brotherhood, the West Side Militia, and that's not even the factions that you meet on the Strip. These are guys that you meet on the way to the Strip or after the Strip, or guys that could help you during the Hoover Dam War. Once you finally get your VIP card and can tell everyone to fuck off, I'm important, and you get into the Strip, you'll come to meet the Muertas, the White Glove Society, and the Chairman, each of whom have some of the best quests in Fallout history. Like, absolutely top tier. These are the ones you gotta go for, because they're long and they're kind of mysterious as well. You have to do a little bit of snooping around. And when you finally decide who you're going to side with after the Hoover Dam, during the Hoover Dam, and everything that follows, these will be the factions' fates that you are deciding when the ultimate question comes into play. Aside from the different factions, the players will get the choice to possibly take things into their own hands. And by that, I mean rule the entire Strip. God, I love calling it the Strip. It sure brings back some good memories. Little off track there, but back to the main point here. Spoiler. Once the player confronts Benny, the same man who shot the player in the beginning, you will come to find a little robot named Yes Man. And this robot is programmed to say yes to any man's commands. Trust me, you do not have to interrogate this guy to get information out of him. This robot has what some would call diarrhea of the mouth. And this is where things get extra interesting. For the final battle of the Hoover Dam, you can pick your side, the NCR, the Legion, and which factions will help your side. Certain factions will only help certain sides as well. This will result in the massacre of one side or the other, and many of the mini factions getting fucked up, eradicated, or just downright disappearing. And in one of the coolest battles in gaming, a swift, violent end will meet some of the Mojave's finest. It's sad, it's glorious, but most of all, it is fucking awesome. And then this is followed up by what the player wants to do with the Platinum chip. The whole point of this game, where it all starts, it comes full circle with this goddamn chip. And man, the options are very tempting. You can return it to Mr. House, the faceless ruler of the strip, and the strip will remain enslaved to his will as he controls all the Securitrons. Or you can use it on Yes Man, kill Mr. House or blow him up, and take complete control over the strip, which also means strip independence. Strip independence, yeah! Along with this, if you use the Platinum chip, you can control the giant robot army on the strip previously belonging to Mr. House. Especially if you go the side quest to upgrade the robots to ultra-killing metal monsters. God, it sounds like a Metallica video. But once you have these upgraded machines of death on your side, you can eradicate the general of the NCR, Kaiser himself, anyone that fucks with you. But that's not the only option. There's so many things you can do. Another cool thing you can do is, if you side with Kaiser's Legion, Kaiser's health will start to give out close to the Battle of the Hoover Dam and after. And if your health and your healing skills are high enough, you can end up saving him. Or you can end up leading the Legion yourself. Or you could downright side with the NCR, kill off Kaiser's Legion and continue to keep the way things are, controlled under the new California Republic. So many options. So many playthroughs. It really comes down to what suits out your playstyle and who do you like? Because there are so many different people to like in this game, and that's what's so fun about it. Each time you can be a different side, you never have to play the same game twice. From being a body in a ditch, hole in your head, to the possible king of the Mojave with many different allies. This game is quite an adventure. If you like Fallout games, or just enjoy great stories with many great options, this is the fucking game for you. I would recommend this game to my worst enemy, it's so good. You know, I don't have many worst enemies, but if I did, fuck you, pal. But you can still play this game. Guys, this has been a Forgotten Gaming Vault video, and we'll be doing one Forgotten Gaming Vault video every single day of the week until my ass gets on a plane for Europe. Thank you guys. Until the next one, KO Gaming, out of here.